I'll give you a funny one. I had a guy message me just a few days ago, a Chinese kickboxer who wanted to do 3 rounds with Conor for $5 million. He was going to put it in escrow. It wasn't like he was just joking. Because again, I get a million messages like that a day, but you just don't pay attention to them. But this guy was connected and it was a legitimate offer. But I know Conor wouldn't do it. I know the boxing promoter well and he's very well known. So he wasn't going to come with an offer that wasn't legitimate.
Why do you think you're not a fan favorite, to use your own words?
I mean, I know what a lot of fans, well, not a lot of fans, but there's a population in the fans of MMA that find it hard to appreciate wrestling. And I'm a wrestling-based fighter, and they see it as boring. And I mean, I wish they didn't. I'd like to change the mind in this next fight and throughout my career, but I think that's the biggest issue. They don't like to see a guy take another guy down and ground and pound. They want to see big men in the middle just hucking and chucking at each other. And I get it, but that's not my game. That's not my style. I have the best grappling in the division, and I'm going to use it to my advantage.
All right, Ngannou versus Blades. My first reaction on that is tough matchup for Ngannou. I just feel it's a matchup that we've already seen twice. Stipe, of course, being a dominant wrestler. We saw what happened there. But in many ways, even Derek Lewis. I think that it was Derek Lewis's ability to wrestle, whether we saw it in that contest or not, but his ability to do it that really made Ngannou apprehensive. So before you look at that fight, though, I'm actually going to come at you from a different angle here. Before you look at that fight and say, well, Ngannou's in there with a wrestler, and we've already seen how that goes, I would encourage this match for a couple of reasons, and it may be a chopping block match. It may be one where you don't like the answer that you find out if you're Ngannou, but you're still putting yourself back in that uncomfortable situation. You're still putting yourself back in that spot in many ways that you've already tried and failed at. And if you're going to be a fighter, you're going to move forward. And for a top guy like Ngannou, who I can't recall anybody in recent memory who had the opportunities and the hype and the machine and the belief behind him. And what I'm talking about is his potential. I don't believe somebody like that wants to go back to the regional circuit at some point, okay, to the undercard. I don't think he does. I think he would like to solve this problem. And I think the fact that he is stepping in there with somebody like Curtis Blades, who presents those exact same problems, is something that Ngannou should be celebrated for, something he should be given credit for. And how does that turn out? We're going to have to see. But for the guys who have taken these risks, for the guys who have put themselves back in terrible situations as a way of forcing themselves, it's a burning of the ships moment. You're burning your ship, so you have no way to return home. You must succeed. For the guys who have done that, we've seen really great things, but it comes with a big risk, right? Conor versus Diaz, part 2, where Conor demanded everything, from the rounds to the rules to the arena to the weight class to the opponent, be the exact same. That was an uphill battle, but there was a tremendous honor and a tremendous celebration that could happen afterwards for Conor and his team. And it also showed everybody how serious he took it, that he went back in the gym, that he learned from that loss, and that he made gains and improvements in his own athletic ability. So I think that Ngannou's in that spot. I think that's a bigger story here. Can he answer the test here? Can he come up and meet this challenge? I think that's what we're going to find out. I feel as though I could make a prediction for you of no. Sadly, but no. As much as this story could have a positive ending for him, the gaps that he had shown in the Stipe fight are, in my opinion, as a lifelong wrestler, as a lifelong fighter, they were too insurmountable to close in this short of a period of time. But that doesn't make it necessarily so, because I would have told you that exact same thing when Conor went in to do it against Nate the second time. That he's just not, he may do better and he may show improvement, but he's not going to be able to close that gap completely. So that's my prediction. Let's see how that whole thing plays out. But I would come to you with a little bit of a different idea in your mind. Instead of looking at Ngannou and saying, oh, this is the guy that can't wrestle. Let's give him some credit for being the guy who found out that he has some deficits in wrestling, but then went and worked on them and signed up for the same task a third time.